Everybody, welcome to What the Talk. This is a bonus show. We record this live each and every week exclusively on patreon.com/whatthetalk. I'm Andrew Zarin. Of course, I'm joined by Paul Thorod. How you doing, Paul?
Pretty good. How are you?
So I found something interesting.
Okay. Could you be more vague?
I found my old stamp collection
Okay.
from when I was a kid.
I found a new FedEx box.
Yeah, did you I got a question. Did you have a stamp collection when you were a kid?
No, I briefly had a coin collection.
Okay.
My dad was always into that kind of stuff.
Coins.
Coins and stamps. As it turns out, I was not. So that didn't last very long.
So I collected everything. So I found this stamp collection, and I'm curious. I'm like, I wonder if there's any value to this, right? Like to what I have here. So like, I don't know if you guys could see. Like, I got a lot of stuff here. It's like a real like collection.
Sure.
But no idea what any of this would be worth.
You should bring it to some Goonie local business.
I'm going to tell you what that Goonie local guy is going to tell me. He's going to be like, all right, listen, I'll give you $20 for all of it.
Mm-hmm. And then
that's exactly what's going to happen. Yeah. But I have a lot of cards. Like, you never collect the baseball cards and stuff like that?
I did. This is kind of weird. When I was a kid, this would have been like the mid to late 70s. They had different kinds of trading cards for like for movies. There were Star Wars ones. There were remember the Planet of the Apes had a TV series 1 year.
Yeah,
that had cards.
Yeah,
there were cards for that. I had those. There were like the wacky packs, which are those kind of fun things that came with a stick of hard gum. That were like joke product boxes. You know, they would make fun of stuff, and then they had a sticker or some stickers. I had stickers all over my bedroom from that. Baseball, basketball.
I did a lot of basketball, a ton of basketball cards. I mean, tons. I was really into basketball. I collected baseball cards, but more basketball cards. It's funny, like, you know, I honestly, as a kid, believed that this would be like a nice chunk of money when I'm 30 years old. Right? Like, I would have these basketball cards. I'd have like Shaquille O'Neal rookie cards. And back then, and the reason this was my thinking, like, I used to get the price guides to see what everything is worth. And I used to, like, once a year, I used to put the value on the side. Oh. So if the Shaq card...
I never did it to that level. The notion that these things would have a value was never there. A driver. Yeah, never. Okay. I never thought of it that way.
So I had a weird Shaquille O'Neal card, and it was an all rookie team. It was like a very special card, and it was worth like $800. This is like 90. What year did he come in? 94, 93, whatever it was. And I was like, my God, if it's this much money now, it has to be like $80,000 in 30 years, you know? Like, I was thinking, like, in my mind, I was like, oh, it'll be a couple grand here, a couple grand there. I looked it up recently. It was like $12.
Oh, geez.
And I thought to myself, you know, that's a terrible investment for me.
Right.
Like, I guess, is it the fact that they're worthless, or is it that there's no demand? People aren't just collecting these things, you know, that much.
The fact that people aren't collecting these things actually kind of makes them more valuable, right?
Yeah, should make it more valuable. Yeah, but I mean, like, if there's no demand to buy it, then there's no value to it.
Yeah, but we live in an age of great nostalgia. You know, people are bringing back all these retro analog things. They're listening to albums, and it seems like this kind of stuff, like the things I described, the things you just described, stuff from our childhood would be of interest to some kind of hipster, whatever audience that must exist that loves these, you know, remember what was my thing about hipsters? They're nostalgic for things they never experienced, you know?
Yeah.
Like this other era that,
like, I'm looking here, this guy got his appraised, right? I don't know why I put Shaquille O'Neal. I have this card. It's a 1992 Upper Deck. This is the exact card that I have here. Let's see. It's a 92 Shaquille O'Neal Upper Deck #1 rookie card, right? And it's a picture of Shaq. He's dribbling, he's up in the air, and then he's dunking the ball. This thing on eBay is going for $595.
Okay.
And then there's another one, the same exact card, going for $9.74.
Yeah, well, that's
10 Gem Mint Hall of Fame. So what this guy did was get his appraised, and he got like the authenticity thing on there.
right.
I'm like, you know what? I'll take all these cards and send them in to get authorized, and I'll just jack up the price and sell them. That's what I'm going to do. You know what, Paul? Forget about the podcasting thing. I'm going to become a shady collectible dealer on eBay.
I like it.
That's what I'm going to do. Maybe I should start selling these. Even like crappy ones are going for like $30. I could probably get a couple grand out of there, out of all those cards.
Why not?
It is amazing. Like, nobody collects things anymore.
Well, I don't know about that.
Did your son collect basketball cards or baseball cards?
No.
They probably did like Pokemon.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Pog's a thing? I don't know.
Yeah, but that wasn't a thing though. There was no money in there. I remember me and my friends, we would get together and we would go through the price guide every summer. We used to buy this big book, go through the price guides, and look at what we have, and then do like an estimate of how much money we have. It was Monopoly. Everything was hyperinflated, and we all finished the day with like $20,000 in collectibles. In reality, it's worthless.
I never experienced anything like that.
Oh my God. I remember we used to go crazy. And then his dad, one of my friends, Joseph, his father worked for the Yankees. So he would get like, I have like Derek Jeter rookie cards. I got all these Yankee rookie cards just sitting in a box somewhere. I'm going to offload it, Paul. And you know what we'll do? We'll take the money. You and I go on a nice cruise. We'll go on a cruise, me and you.
We'll go on a cruise that is full of people who are like stamp collectors.
We'll go on a stamp collecting cruise. Do people collect stamps anymore? I really want to know. I really want to know who collects stamps anymore.
This stuff is still happening. It's just, but we live in this, the internet era changed everything. You have to, people used to go to people's houses and look at stamps and stuff. And then there would be shows, like regional shows. You'd travel to go to these things. You can do this all like the people on eBay. You can do a lot of this stuff virtually now. It's opened it up, but it's probably also made it more risky. And
I know someone that does a lot of the magic cards. Like he's a trader. Like he sells. He buys them. He sells them. He does a lot of those things. And he was telling me that the problem is 90% of all these collectible stores are corrupt. And what they actually do is that they open the packs. They have a method of opening all these packs to the point that the consumer has no idea what it is. So what they do, they go through all the cards. They take out the most valuable ones. They put in something that's semi-good. So you don't really question that every time you go into the store, you're not getting anything good. And they take out the main ones and then they sell those individually. And they make a killing. So you can't even trust the dealer, or you can't even trust the retailer of these things. So that's really affected the collectible market. But in reality, kids are not taking their allowance and running and buying baseball cards.
Kids have iPhones. Why the hell would they care about a little piece of cardboard with a hard stick of gum in the pack?
There's no gum in the packs anymore, Paul.
It doesn't matter. The point is, that's not interesting. You've just described like a wooden board with pegs in it. Like, why don't kids play these games anymore? I don't know. Maybe because he's playing a military shooter on a freaking 47-inch screen that has like photorealistic graphics. Because this is not of interest. Andrew, you're old. This is what this is.
Is that what it is? Is that exactly what has happened here?
Yeah.
That's wild.
My son won't watch a movie if it's in black and white. He won't even, actually, we're at the point now where if it's like full frame, like it's not widescreen,
he won't watch.
You'd have to really talk him into even trying to watch it.
Yeah.
Like this is how modern they are. Like they don't. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I guess, you know what though? I could kind of understand that. You know what I mean? Like it's the same as looking at a grainy, crappy TV show for us. Actually,
but I
black
would
and white
watch it.
look
I mean,
pretty
the big
good.
difference
Yeah.
is,
I watched
when
I
I was a
Love
kid,
Lucy black and white, and I never thought of it
right,
as being
all
like,
those
oh, this
shows.
sucks.
First couple seasons of Gilligan's Island was in black and white. I think even some of the cartoons, the early years were black and white, if I'm not mistaken. I sort of feel like it doesn't make sense though. But why would a cartoon be black and white? I can picture the Flintstones in black and white for some reason. Maybe I just watched it on black and white TV. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I never had there were classic black and white movies that I think my son would like. Like the original King Kong. Creature from the Black Lagoon. Those are all great movies. But
here.
Yeah, he won't do it.
Marvel Masterpiece. So I used to collect Marvel cards also. That was a big thing when I was a kid. $89 for a factory sealed entire box.
The comic books would fall into this category, and they're huge
great,
today.
Yeah, great. By the way, but people don't collect comic books. They don't. People don't buy comic books.
Hold on a second. People absolutely do collect comic books.
I'm going to tell you something. I was talking to somebody, Rich. He's been a big comic reader. He said that the ratio of people that actually pack and seal, like me, I board and I seal all my comics and I put them away. That is gotten so small, where people just now literally just buy the comics, they read and they throw it in a pile because everybody got burned from the 90s.
I think what's really happened is that the overall market for comic books has exploded so dramatically that those people are now a tiny minority, and that now there's some crazy mainstream audience of people eating up these things for some reason, which I think is nonsense, by the way. Although I do read comic books. I mean, not regularly, but I do. I read them digitally. But I mean, I can't explain it, why comic book movies and comic books themselves are so huge these days, but they are. I mean, I love comic books when I was a kid, and it's so much bigger than it was when I was a kid now,
I think, the comic, like people following Marvel and comics, it's way bigger. But I think this is a positive. You're a collector to some extent, because this entire generation has no concept of holding on to things. Everything is wasteful. Why would you hang on to a piece of paper? Just throw it in the trash when you're done reading it.
Why would you even buy a piece of paper? Is what I would ask.
Yeah, why would you buy a piece of paper? Yeah. It's inflating the number for newer comics. Like my newer comics are worth more than some of my older ones.
Interesting.
And because everybody offloaded. We all thought we were getting rich, Paul. Everybody in my generation thought
Again,
that.
I cannot stress how uninterested in the commerce aspect of any of this I was, and how this seems to be your focus. On everything we've talked about, you were like, this is how I'm going to make money.
This was it. Yeah, this was it for me.
I just like this stuff. I was
8 years old. I thought this was the moment.
If I could have gone back, like every time I got like a Star Wars action figure or some stupid thing that I might have gotten as a kid, and not actually ever played with those things, but had saved them in the original packaging, I would be rich for sure.
Probably.
But I just never had that. I was a kid. I don't know. I was just playing with stuff.
No, I had a mother that would scream at me and tell me I was wasteful about everything. So I became a semi-hoarder with all these things. So I would hang on to every bit of product I bought, and with the concept that it'll be worth some money one day. And you know what? I was totally wrong. Should have invested that money in an IRA instead of comic books. No, but I really always I always enjoyed buying those things. But you're right. Why would kids do this? They have a phone.
Right.
Why would it matter to them?
Instant gratification of any kind imaginable is yours for the taking. Like when I was a kid, like if you were lucky, you'd be home at night, you'd be flipping around the channels on the TV on the 4 channels you had, only 3 of which were worth a damn. And there would be some, I don't know, Clint Eastwood Western would be on, or something you actually wanted to watch. And you would treasure that because you just happened to hit on it. Now you can go to YouTube and watch anything you want at any time or whatever.
It's interesting because I was talking to somebody in the TV business, and he was saying how, they are all freaking out because there's an entire generation of people that are watching traditional TV shows abridged on the internet, and that's good enough for them, and that's fine. And they see the scene. if there's a series finale or a season finale of a show that
That's
maybe
all
you
I
were
have to watch.
well, here's a great thing, right? Let's say you were interested in the show 2 years ago and you kind of
Mhm.
fell out of it, and you don't really care about getting into it. So maybe you would have watched the series finale on the last day of broadcast, right? But now you don't even have to do that. You don't even have to watch it on Hulu. You just watch the clip of the final scene so you know what happened.
Right. Yep.
How do you monetize? How do you make money if you're the TV business with that? You can't. It's over.
Yeah, it's a completely different world.
I was watching literally the last 2 days. I have watched a series of videos on World War One. That's all I've been watching.
Okay.
Okay, that is what I've been consuming is World War One videos. Because I know way more about World War II than I do about World War One. I always read about World War II.
Yeah.
I know everything there is to know about World War II at this point, Paul.
Interesting.
If there was a Jeopardy category, I would immediately go for the $2,000 question and it would be a daily double.
Okay.
And I would ace it. So, but I really, my knowledge on World War One is kind of eh. So I've been trying to educate myself. And I've been watching these YouTube videos. It's a great series, and they go through every day of the war. I think they just wrapped up the series. It's been going on for like 4 or 5 years. But to me, like that, I spent like 4 hours a night. It was on. I was watching it. I was doing something else. That consumed all my time for TV for that evening. I could have watched something on network with commercials. The ratings would have hit. I mean, I don't think people are watching television like they did at all. Even older generations aren't. I can't.
Yeah, I mean, the type of TV that I would have watched growing up is, I think it's still there. I just don't watch any of it. That kind of nightly TV, weekly, whatever it is.
I don't know. I think it's interesting. Like must-see Thursdays, right? I couldn't even tell you what's on Thursdays, except for football.
My wife and I watched YouTube last night.
Look at it. You're like a 20-year-old. You're like a 20-year-old couple.
Yeah. It's not usual. I mean, to be clear, but we usually watch, we binge watch Netflix things or whatever, but we finished a series on Amazon recently. But, sometimes you get between things and you're like, I don't want to start anything heavy right now. I don't, there's like a John Le Carre thing. Actually, this was on regular TV. So that, what's it called? The Little Drummer Girl debuted last night on AMC. I think it was in England a month ago. Tonight's part 2, part 3 is tomorrow night. It's a 6-hour thing. So we're recording it. And when it's done, we'll watch it. Well, I'm not going to watch it now. I'm not going to watch it with commercials for sure.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I should check into that because actually, if I recorded it on AMC, I might not be able to skip the commercials. I should probably figure that one out. Anyway, I just can't watch TV like that anymore. I'm not going to show up on a night, like The Walking Dead. We love that show, but Better Call Saul. We're going to watch these things later when they're done. I'm not going to sit there and go week. I'm not going week to week.
I literally, the only thing I watch live is football, baseball when it's on, maybe hockey, and pro wrestling. Those are the only things that I'll watch live. So
you just described things that are all sports, and then whatever the last one is technically dancing of some kind.
Yes, it actually, that's a great description of it. Mm-hmm. I mean that's really how I watch TV.
Yep.
And it's my wife hates it, by the way. Mm-hmm. She absolutely hates the fact that I can't watch TV. I have to watch YouTube videos. She likes to sit there and watch, like she likes that show Riverdale, which is it's an Archie comic as a teen drama.
That sounds terrible.
It's actually not bad. It's not terrible, but she likes the show. So she'll watch like 6 hours of this thing. If it's on, she has like, and she'll binge watch on something. And I can't, I'm done. 30 minutes in, I'm like, okay, what's next? What are we doing? I can't watch the same thing for more than 30 minutes.
So we can do that. We do that, but we don't do it on ABC or NBC. We do it on Netflix or whatever.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's changing. The way that we're consuming the stuff is changing.
For sure.
Listen, people sit there and watch us for an hour every week. Thousands of people.
Jeez.
Thousands of
It's
people's
so sad.
watch us for an hour. I mean, that's a whole different way of consuming radio, consuming television, the spoken word. That plays a huge part in it too. How many people are listening to podcasts and watching podcasts that normally would have been watching something else? We only have this much time in our day to consume media, and wherever it's going, it's taking away, it's distracting you from traditional media.
The truth is, we do only have so much time, but the amount of time we have to do this has actually gone up exponentially because now you can listen anywhere and you can kind of watch almost anywhere. I listen to audiobooks, but they have serial podcasts that would fall into this category when I walk, when I'm doing stuff in the kitchen, when I'm getting ready in the bathroom. I mean, the number of places where I can kind of be entertained and am entertained has actually gone up, right? I don't have to go into that room over there with the one screen and, fight for it with my daughter, who's probably going to want to watch something I would never want to watch. We all have multiple screens now. We can go off in our room and be by ourselves or put the headphones on and be completely isolated from everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Paul. Let's wrap it up. What are you doing for Thanksgiving? What's your plan?
This year we're going over to my sister's. Although Mark's coming home tomorrow, so we're going to do like a mini Thanksgiving for ourselves on Wednesday night, and then we're going to be in a house with I think 25 people on Thanksgiving. But thankfully, it's in the same town, so it's not far away. What are you guys doing?
That's a big party. We host Thanksgiving. We won Thanksgiving when we had kids.
Okay.
That was the rule. So we're doing. I do the turkey. I cook the turkey. So I have to brine it tomorrow. I'm big fan of brining it. So I got to brine it tomorrow. How big is your bird?
25 pounds.
Yeah, I got a 28 pound.
Sorry. We have two 25-pound birds for the big meal.
For the big one.
For tomorrow night it's 16. It's just a small one, just for the four of us.
So I have a 28-pound turkey that I have to do. We also got ham. We're going to do ham. And then because then it becomes like an Italian feast. We also do chicken parm. We do lasagna. We're doing, pasta. It becomes it's just like, we got the turkey, we got the gravy, we got mashed potatoes, we got mac and cheese, and a couple other things. And then it's like, then we're going to like Villa Rustica, the Italian restaurant at the other end of the table. So it's a very split in the middle.
Yeah, and there's going to be some of that at my sister's, but I feel very strongly that Thanksgiving is traditional, and I only eat the turkey gravy, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So I'm in charge of doing the main stuff for Thanksgiving, and everybody makes something and brings it. It makes life so much easier.
Yep.
So I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. I enjoy the cooking part of it.
Mm-hmm.
The hecticness of everything else. Like, I still have the contractors here, by the way. The guy came today, 25 minutes, and then he left because he broke something. So he's like, I'll be back tomorrow. You're cutting it close, man. You're cutting it close. You got one day.
Right.
It's all right. They just won't get paid. That's all.
Good luck.
Yeah. This is my war now with them. Every day when they don't finish the job, I don't pay. I take $350 out of what I owe them. So right now, by the end of this run, they're going to owe me money. This is how it's going to end.
Right.
It's gotten so nutty. That this whole job's gotten so nutty. Here, let me show you, actually. Let me show you the doors, the soundproof doors that I got in here.
Oh, jeez, wow. Are they bulletproof, too, to keep your kids out?
Yeah. The soundproof, childproof.
They just start ramming into it.
Yeah.
In an attempt to break through.
Well, they do already. I highly doubt this door is going to survive 2 years. It's going to come off the hinge. I'm positive. They're running headfirst into this thing. It's already happening. All right, Paul. Let's wrap it up. Guys, happy Thanksgiving if you're in the States. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. And you eat plenty. I plan on getting really fat over the next couple days, so I won't be on camera. All right, guys. See you next time. Take care.